Hello, and welcome. I'm Wayne Belisle with this week's Profit Maximizer Moment. Still running toothless, but we're working on it. I've had appointments with dentists. Unfortunately, going to need a new implant, so we're going to get one of those flippers once the lab gets to work. But it is what it is. Anyways, this week we're going to talk about raising prices. How do you raise prices, and what should you do first? Look, the decision to raise your price, tough one for most business owners, but how you increase prices can have a tremendous effect on both your cash and your bottom line profits. Two companies in the same industries that raise their prices at the same time can experience tremendously different results. Okay. Raising and lowering prices requires you to plan the timing of the increase, how your customers perceive the value of your products and services, and I put together a worksheet. I'm not going to go over it all here. In our coaching program, we get into it in pretty deep detail. But what we're trying to do is, should you raise your prices? And, you know, and the reasons for the price increase, the amount of the increase, the ramifications, pro and con of raising your prices, planning the price increase, and whether to or not to announce the price increase. So, first, should you raise your prices? Well, almost all the time the answer is yes. I'll be honest. Price setting is much more elastic than you think, and if you have done the job of making sure you're able to answer why, out of all the choices out there, including doing nothing, should I hire you, then you should have you shouldn't people shouldn't be you should not be selling on price. Okay. So some questions to ask yourself: are your gross margins where they should be? Has your cost increased? Are you charging what you're worth? That's one I've always had trouble with. Do you provide anything of value that you're not currently charging for? Are you sending the wrong message with your pricing? Are you pricing too low and sending the message that I'm, the cheap one? Go get somebody else if you want something done right. Then sit down and clarify and write down in writing the reasons for the price increase. Really, write down first the advantage and benefits that you provide your customers, and write down the disadvantages of a price increase. You might be surprised. Okay, yeah, you'll lose some customers. Of course you will, but will you lose? What you're after is to increase capacity and keep your gross profit the same. What can you add to your products at little or no cost that will increase value? The goal is to increase prices by introducing a new product that includes the old product with something added that increases value. So we do that. I mean, it's in our invoices. Every now and then I forget to put it on there, but I'm trying to get better. We have, it included in it. We have so many meetings if you do a tax return, and we answer IRS letters, so that's in there. Create tiered products, good, better, best. That's definitely a must. I'm not going to go into that here because I'll go into it. I've gone into it before and we'll go into it again. Determine the amount of the increase. Do you want one large increase, step increases, smaller annual increases, some combination? On some products only? You may want to keep your gateway products the same and raise prices on add ons only. Keep entry products the same, build levels of products using the good, better, best. What do I mean by that? Well, if I'll give you an example. I have a client that has lift chairs, BUK Medical. I've mentioned them before. If you need anything for home medical, go see them. But you got all these companies out there that are doing lift chairs at $5.99, $6.99, whatever it is now. And yeah, they're decent chairs and they carry it too. So since that's the only one they advertise, match that price. But that's not always the best solution because you're just buying it online. It may not be the best solution for you or your parents or your loved one, whoever you're buying it for. And they have somebody there who can say, "Yeah, that's a good chair," but they're over 6 feet. They weigh more than this. This chair just isn't going to last, and it's not the right one. And look at these bells and whistles that'll make it easier. I don't sell a chair, so I can't get into detail. But I mean, it's got a lot of things that it'll do that will make your life easier and definitely be more comfortable. All right. Now, step increases. I'm kind of what I hate to see is somebody who's kept the prices the same, the same, the same, the same, and then they pop it up real high, unless you have a reason to do that. Okay. You're better off taking a small increase every year. That's my own opinion. And it's how I usually do it. Consider the ramifications, both pro and con, of your raising your prices. Will you lose prices? Will you lose prices? Will you lose customers? Yes. But assume a 10% price increase at a 40% margin. So in other words, I sell something for $1, it costs me 60 cents, I make 40 cents. Okay. You could lose 20% of your customers, one out of every five, and make the same profit. It's highly doubtful, truthfully, that you'll lose one out of five. All right. But the time you save working with low margin customers, those are the ones that are usually going to quit. You can invest in higher margin customers. And I've done that. I got rid of bookkeeping, chopped off 40,000 off the top line 1 year, made 80,000 more profit. Why? Because I was wasting time on that. All right. You can work less, make the same amount. Maybe that's what you want to do. So how do you plan a price increase? When should you make the price increase? Talk about that. Should you announce the price increase? I don't. Somebody comes in and we send them here's what our price is. All right. When's the last time you got a letter in the mail or an email saying we're raising our prices because our cost went up? We don't care if your cost went up. Remember, the only reason I buy from you is because you solve a problem. All right. Should you how should you announce it? Well, I don't think you should, but if you're gonna, we'll talk about that. Are any particular customers that should be told in person? Yeah, I got some of my old time clients. I just told them, or I didn't increase them. The 80-20 rule, the 20% that bring in 80% of your money. Maybe you don't increase them very much. Now, announce or not announce a price increase. Announcing makes a big deal of your price without concentrating on the value you provide. That's why I don't like it. Have you ever received a price increase letter from your dentist? No. And they raise the price. Doctor, even your hairdresser, it's almost never done. All right. Prices are much more elastic than you think. It took me a long time to get that through my thick skull. All right. Customers are used to the idea of prices rising, so it's expected and tolerated. Raising fees while focusing on communicating value is the quickest way to increase your profits. The announcement, if you even bother, should focus on the value add rather than the price increase. If I'm going to do it, I'm basically going to say we've done some new things. We're brought in no staff. We're brought in new programs. We're doing these things that we're adding value, and the price is, of course, increasing. I just don't like the idea of that. One thought is slowly raise the price on your best customers and apply new prices to your new customers only. I do that a lot. Okay, I put my price schedule in there, and new customers, I'll put the price. I'll look at what I was last year. I'll raise it a little bit and give them a customer loyalty discount. Be flexible on some of those who complain about the price increase, especially good customers. And there is only one reason to announce a price increase, and that's to bring in cash now. If you were to sell prepaid packages at the old price, maybe let's say you're a lawn care, and in December and I used this before, you sell 10 sessions for the price of 9 that you're already doing. Encourage referrals by asking them to know the special pricing is fully transferable to their friends, families, and colleagues. It's a good way to bring in money especially for a seasonal business like pool cleaning or yard work, where you're bringing some money in during the slow periods. And truthfully, it's better if you do it all year round. Okay. I'm not going to go into much more than that right now. When I'm doing the coaching, which, by the way, we're about ready to get that sucker finally going. I know I've said that before, but we're already working on it, and I'll be sure to announce it when we get there. Anyways, until next time, this is Wayne Belisle saying let's make this our most profitable year ever. Hopefully next time I'll have a tooth, but probably not. I don't think I have an appointment till August 6th, so probably not. Anyways, have a great week. God bless, and see you at church. Thank you. Bye. And we're out of here.